Don't watch this video if you are looking for extreme ways to cut your grocery budget down to almost nothing. Watch this video if you want realistic ways to cut your grocery budget that you are actually going to be able to do and actually stick to that other videos won't tell you. I cook dinner at home for my family 7 nights a week, most weeks of the year, and I am sharing my best tips to help you do the same. Whether it's 7 nights a week or 5 nights a week, or even 2 nights a week, whatever your goal is, I want to help you do that and save money and your sanity along the way. So that sounds maybe a little bit harsh, but in all seriousness, there are lots of ways to cut your budget way down that are just not realistic for a lot of people and a lot of families. Sure, I could go and make everything we eat from scratch. I'm not going to. I just know I'm not going to. I work outside of the home. I have a toddler who's crazy and I need some downtime every once in a while, right? I just don't have it in me to do that. That could save me a lot more money. And if that is something that works for you, more power to you, go do it, okay? But what we are gonna talk about in this video is realistic ways to cut your budget that are kind of counterintuitive, that kind of go against the grain, but truly are going to help you stick to a grocery budget, cook the food you have, make the meals you planned. So the number one way to help you stick to your grocery budget that no one else is going to tell you is to go out to eat. So obviously if you're like, well, I go out to eat, then my grocery budget's really low. That's not what I mean. I mean, you are going to do a better job of cooking at home, making the meals that you have planned, using up what's in your kitchen, etc. If you have a plan to go out to eat on like really busy nights, things like that. So if you decide when you're going to go out to eat, if you plan, you're not just doing it at the last minute, you're not just throwing in the towel and calling for a takeout pizza, things like that. If you decide ahead of time, hey, this is a really crazy night, this is a really crazy week, we are going to do a dinner out this night, that is going to help you make dinner at home, make from scratch meals, or partially from scratch. Simple things, you know. The other nights you're going to be more likely to actually cook those dinners and eat at home those nights if you have planned nights out. So another way to help you eat the food you've bought, to stick to eating dinner at home, that is counterintuitive, is by buying things you don't plan to cook. And what I mean by that is buying backup meals or emergency dinners, as I call them. And these are the super easy, like frozen pizza type meals that are gonna be your backup for the nights you just don't wanna cook. So going along with that last tip, it doesn't necessarily have to be planned dinners out. You can plan dinners out, or you can just have these things on hand. So those nights where you were like, oh my goodness, I just do not wanna cook. Like I'm spent, I'm done, I'm not cooking dinner. All right, go grab that frozen pizza from the freezer. Have these things on hand will save you money on food, not necessarily groceries, but it'll help you avoid going out to eat, ordering takeout, whatever, which saves you a ton of money, right? So if you have these backup dinners where you don't have a planned night to use them, so most tips are saying like buy only things you need, plan to use up all the things in your kitchen. I say that a lot. However, you also need to buy things you don't have a plan for, these backup options, so that when, you're just like, absolutely not, cooking tonight is not happening, these are available in your freezer, your pantry, whatever, for you to go grab. And I have a whole video here with a bunch of ideas for these backup emergency dinners. Another counterintuitive way to save money that other people are not going to tell you is by splurging a little. So what I mean by splurge, you're gonna splurge on groceries a little bit by buying convenience ingredients. So my most popular video that I'll link here is about being realistic, about how to be realistic to actually stick to your grocery budget. So recognizing that you probably are not gonna be able to, or feel like, making from scratch meals every night. So I say that I cook dinner 7 nights a week. Cook is like maybe an exaggeration some nights, right? Like definitely frozen pizza is frequently served in our home. But eating dinner at home totally counts in my book, right? Eating dinner at home, saving money on groceries does not have to mean making from scratch meals for dinner every night. So when I have a really busy week, or when I have a later night in the office, we have something going on in the evening, what have you, I will utilize my splurges for convenience ingredients. I don't know why I always use that phrase. There's got to be a better way to say it, because it's really hard for me to say convenience ingredients. But that's what they are. So like a pre-made sauce, like a semi pre-made side, like a box of mac and cheese can be in a convenience ingredient. Convenience ingredient. Things like that that are like partially made for you. Some nights I'll buy, or some nights we'll use like pre-made guacamole, pico de gallo for like really easy tacos or tostadas or something. And I'm much more likely to throw that dinner together than something that I had to make completely from scratch. So splurging a little bit on these convenience ingredients and not forcing yourself to make everything from scratch is going to help you stick to your meal plans, help you stick to your grocery budget, even if that grocery budget is a little bit higher because of these convenience ingredients. You're not going to go spend money on takeout or something like that because you're like, I can handle this meal with these shortcut ingredients. And this last one might be a little bit surprising, but go to bed. That is my tip. Go to bed. We are all more likely to do hard things when we are well rested. When it comes to the end of the day and you have to make dinner, you have to get the kids' homework done, bathed and into bed, all the things, right? If you are well rested, you are much more likely to also feel up to making dinner and not getting takeout or something like that. That's what I really should call this video, is like how to avoid takeout. How to avoid the drive-thru. Ditch the drive-thru with these tips. There you go. That's really should be the theme of this video. Whatever, maybe I'll rework that into another video. But you are more likely to make your food, cook the food you have at home, be on team we have food at home, if you are well rested. And I'm saying this to myself just as much as I'm saying it to you, because I know it's hard. It's like you're a little bit of free time at the end of the day after the kids go to sleep and you just want to mess around on Instagram or Pinterest or whatever, right? But go to bed and you're going to feel better the next day. Maybe you'll even have energy to prep something in the morning, something like that. You're going to be much more likely to make your home cooked meals, even if they're not 100% from scratch, if you are well rested. So those are my kind of out of the normal, I almost said off the beaten path. That's not a correct term. Those are my slightly abnormal tips that you will not hear on other channels. If you want to see my top 9 ways I save on groceries, that is in this video here. Definitely go watch that one next. And if you are not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you see all my upcoming videos helping you save time, money, and sanity when it comes to feeding your family on a budget.